Welcome back to Freedom in Hours. Andy here again. Great to have you back with us today. So today we're going to talk about how you can transform your organization's culture. You see, we did a video last week, what most managers miss, and I had a lot of inquiries coming from subscribers saying, Andy, sure, us managers need to pick up these little things in regards to building our teams, but how do we actually go and take this and actually transform an organization's culture? Well, it's a great question, guys, and something that I'm very, very passionate about. You see, in the last organization I worked, I was able to transform the company's culture within a few months. And I did this through a lot of little things, but there were some key things that really stood out that you can actually apply and you can do straight away, that you can transform your company's culture. You see, companies are all about the people. And as managers, we very, very often forget that most of the people we work with look up to us and take the barometer from us. So if we're doing little things each and every day, similar to Freedom Hours philosophy, to keep them motivated, to keep developing them, then they will shine. So in this video, we're going to look at what you can do to transform your organization's culture. We're going to go through the top few things that I believe you can start doing immediately, which will start to guarantee and give you results straight away. So make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and also if you want to go and join our newsletter, go to freedominhours@gmail.com and subscribe. We do a newsletter as well, and check out our website as well, also our podcasts. Anyway, let's jump in and have a look at now at Freedom in Hours. Okay, so what are the things I've seen in most organizations I've been at? Well, very often, as I said in my last video, most managers haven't had experience in leading or training or developing people themselves. So a lot of time managers have picked up their skills from watching other managers in the past have done it. Now, most managers, to be honest, I've worked with haven't been overly good in their organization, particularly in contact centers. A lot of contact center people, for example, come from being contact center employees themselves, have worked their way up and have learnt bad behaviors. So what you need to start by doing is starting to build a culture within your organization is you need to understand what your staff are doing. So me, for example, when I join an organization, I always go and look at what the staff are doing and actually do their job. So if it's in a call center, for example, I'll sit there and I'll actually go and make the calls, do what they're doing, even go through their training programs. And the reason why I do this is you can't lead someone without actually experiencing and knowing what they go through. You can't be congruent towards what you're doing. So the first step is actually understand your staff member's job. Now, it's not just, looking at what they do, but actually jump on there and do it. So if you're in a customer call center, jump on the phones, do the customer calls. If you're an insurance adjuster, for example, get in there and do the insurance adjusting with them. If you're in sales, for example, get on the field, work with the guys, do the sales calls, understand what they're going through. Now, there's something very, very powerful with your teams if you actually do the jobs. Number one, you're not too much for them. They actually see that you actually care, that you can do what they're doing as well. Number two, you understand what they're actually doing as well. So when you're setting targets, when you're setting goals, you're actually doing it from the experience of doing the job themselves. Now, a very, very powerful thing to say to you guys is, look, if I can jump on the phones and do it, you can jump on the phones and do it. I'm not actually as well trained as you. You actually are as well. So that's the first way. The second way is communication and being congruent. You see, very often as managers, we get into the trap of telling our teams things and then forgetting that we even said it. So you could, for example, say, look, guys, we're going to be doing a great bonus scheme next month. It's going to be really, really good. Then the next week, they ask you, what about that bonus scheme? Guys, I'll get back to you. Then a week after that, they say, well, what about the bonus scheme, Andrew? What happened? Again, you get back to them. Very, very often, you can go and turn around an employee that was very, very keen to make them very, very disengaged. So always be very careful about what you're saying. Be very careful about not making promises, and if you do make promises, you have to show through to it as well. So I'm very careful what I do, that I make sure that what I say to the guys I remember as part of a plan. But secondly, I'm also congruent as well. See, when people want leadership, they want someone that they can see being the same at all times. They want someone that's one day angry, one day happy, one day excited. They want a leader that they can look up to that's consistent with what they say, consistent with their performance. You see, a lot of people look up to us as leaders to be able to get the consistency, and if we're different every day, it's going to cause confusion for them as well. So another way is being consistent. Now, the third way as well is culture isn't just big things that you do to transform it. It's little things you do each and every day, and I've said this quite often, but the reality is it's a conversation you have with every person. It's saying thank you to them for a job well done. It's walking past them and saying, guys, you did very, very well there. It's being, in my case, an operations manager in the last role I was at, and understanding every person's name that works in the organisation, who their partners are, what their strengths, what their weaknesses are, even knowing what they're going to be doing before they do it. You see, quite often as senior managers, we forget that the people we work for know who we are, but we need to know who they are. I mean, can you imagine? I had this example of a girl a few weeks ago that was going through a difficult period. I took her off the floor, spent half an hour with her. And it was very, very powerful because I said to her, you do realise, she said, look, why are you doing this? Why are you spending this time with me? And I said, because at the moment, you're the most important thing in the world to me. And I wasn't doing it because I was being paid for it. I wasn't doing it because of money. I was doing it because literally I cared. And by caring about people this much, that's how you can transform the culture, because not only do they want to be there, they want to tell everyone else. You see, most people through life do have challenges. They have challenges with self-esteem, self-confidence, the way they feel, and most managers aren't good for them. So if you can provide an environment where you care about them so much, where you are a place that people want to be, they'll come and work for you. And I've always said, when you come and work for me, I can't control what happens in the outside environment, but I can control what happens in here with you. So, and I'll provide a safe, great workplace for you to work at. Now, the key thing about that is if people want to work for you, they'll turn up. Now, if you think about it, current employment market, it's very, very tight. So people have the choices to go anywhere they want. The last organisation I went to, we had retention running at about 20% loss per month. Turned around to having 100% retention. And that's because people wanted to work there. But not only did people want to work there, they wanted to bring their friends. They wanted to bring their family members. It became a place where they could actually, create a difference. And as a senior manager, you take an interest in the person at the most junior role. The power of that for your organisation is quite fantastic. So as a CEO, I challenge you to get out there, get on the front line, understand your workers, understand what they're doing, be passionate with them, sharing their knowledge and sharing their experience. But I guess another way is having incentive plans. Now, we all don't want to go through boring jobs. We all want to be entertained and excited. So in my last position or last contract assignment I created games. Now, I did things such as Squid Games, Top Gun, the Hunger Games. I even did Game of Phones, which is really, really exciting. But what it did is it engaged everyone towards having fun, playing games, being part of a bigger purpose. You see, as managers, we sit there sometimes and we assume, guys, there's the job, go and do it. But we forget that we need to make it interactive. We need to make it exciting for them. And it's very, very important. So having great games, engaging with your staff, having a constant message, having constant emotions, but also making expectations clear. You see, as managers, we need to make our people know exactly what they need to do. That's not saying, for example, we can't use their own individual flares, their own individual things they have in place, but we need to be consistent with what they need to achieve. So it's not going one day and saying, you guys need to do 1,000 sales, next day 500 sales, the next day do this. Consistently saying to the guys, every day, if you do these key things, boom, 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 it'll result in this, you'll get this, and this is a plan. And being consistent to that. True leaders understand their people. They give a clear vision. They motivate those guys towards clear vision. They build up the culture behind them. And I think that's a key thing. As leaders, we can control the outcome of our organisation. We can control the outcome of our cultures. It's up for us to stand there and go, guys, here's where we're going, but I understand you. I know what you're doing. I understand your culture, your job, who you are, what you've done. I'll sit there and guide you and look after you through difficult times. And I think that's a key thing as well, is as leaders, we have the power to shape our cultures how we see fit. But it all starts with getting to know our people. The people are the key thing about it. It's why we're here. So, and I hope you enjoyed this view. It was kind of a bit of a philosophy about a lot of the ideas I have regards to managing and managing culture. Again, I'm so passionate about it. I've turned around many organisations. So if you need help with your organisation, please reach out to me at freedomhours@gmail.com or reach out to me on Messenger or wherever I'm showing this video. But I'm very passionate about creating cultural change. And again, it's very, very simple. It's a million little things you do each and every day that builds a culture. And also, if you're managing to get a paycheck, I advise you stay out of it, because managing has to be a vocation, has to be a passion, has to be something you're doing to create changes. So I hope, again, you've enjoyed another one. Check out also what most managers miss. We're going to be doing a number of different videos in the future about culture, leadership, getting the best out of your teams, how to coach, how to perform. This is just one of them, and it's kind of gone through a few of my key ideas about what I've done to build a culture. But, if you can be a dynamic leader, if you can be the one that people look up to, if you create a culture where people have a sense of belonging, they feel safe, they feel inspired, it gives them a reason to get up of a morning. It gives them something that's better than what they can get outside world and where they also can be. People will work for you. They'll bring their friends. they'll create something that's special. And that's what it's all about, is creating something special for people. You see, when you create a fantastic culture, what you get back from people, you get even more than what you're giving. It becomes this self-replicating thing in place that you walk in there and you actually get back from them. It's really, really powerful. So, in these videos as well, I don't talk about the negative things in cultures, what things have to be changed, because I think it's important that we just set our own cultures. There's no point talking about, what the culture is we need to fix. Let's always look to the future. And I think as leaders, picture the culture you want, picture where you want the business, picture where you want the people as part of that vision, and then pull them towards it as well. So it's very, very powerful. Anyway, hope you enjoyed today's video about how to create an amazing culture. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and thanks for joining us here again at Freedom in Hours.